going to be doing this is I'm probably going to hop on. Hi guys, I'm probably going to hop on every Wednesday at 5, and maybe if it gets if you really need me, then we might even do this a few times a week. But just so you know, hi everyone that's joining. If you hear any snoring in the kitchen, it is not me. I have not fallen asleep. I just need to introduce you to Macy, my lovely companion. Macy, come quickly, the people want to see you. Let me go get her. Come, Nana. Okay. So, guys, this is Macy, my trusty companion. She is my kitchen assistant, and she is always there right by my side, especially when I drop something on the floor. So Macy is highly trained in the kitchen. She actually is trained to help me clean up. I will quickly demonstrate. So we're just waiting for everyone to come in. And then I'm going to start with the question time. So today is actually going to be about Chef Mel's helpline. So I always usually do a cooking class and teach you something to cook. But what I thought we could do instead is you ask me questions. Things like, Mel, I can't poach an egg. Mel, I can't get pork crackling perfect. And then we'll talk about solving those problems. All right, so first let me just demonstrate how gorgeous Macy is. All right, so Macy is trained to indeed tidy up after me in the kitchen. So for instance, if I was to leave this drawer open, Macy, close it. Macy would come in and she would help me close it. Good girl, Navi. All the people are going to be very excited to see your talents. She has got other tricks as well. But now, let's get down to the cooking. Now, I don't know about you guys, but generally we actually eat quite early. So I like an early dinner, unless it's a weekend and we're going out. But generally, I probably eat at about 6 or 6:30 on, especially on today, like a Wednesday. So just so you know that tonight I'm having crispy skin salmon, and I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to pop that into my air fryer. So of course I'll have a lovely healthy salad. We're all a bit on a health kick at the moment. So a nice healthy salad is going to do the trick. And I know I've taught you, if you've seen my videos on crispy skin salmon, I do it in the pan, but I've also found out that if I throw it into my air fryer, so just lightly seasoned, and that's what I'm going to do tonight. So when I say seasoned, just a beautiful piece of salmon, skin on, and then what I do is I just use my fancy salt. That's my lovely salt there. And then when I'm seasoning my fish, I'm just using my little salt shaker to season it. So that's a lovely, I call it salt snow, and that's a lovely way to get even amount of salt on your food. So that's a nice little hack. And then what I would like to do as well, and I'm just waiting for questions to come in, guys. Let's open up the chats. So if you are currently, say you're a frustrated foodie and you have something that always gets you down, something that always flops, something that always fails, drop it in the little comments here, and I am going to be helping you. So I'm going to be doing the Chef Mel helpline. I have my drink here so we can have a good discussion. I promise you it's just soda water with some lovely, I found these tiny little apples when I went shopping. Aren't they adorable? And while I was shopping, and I'm just waiting for some questions to come in, guys. That's all right. I have no trouble talking about food. I found these cute little kalettes at my local supermarket. Have you all seen those, guys? And I know some people get terribly offended by kale because it can be very healthy. So these are cute little mini kales. Now, these are great, obviously for nutritional value. They were also $2, so I got them on the bargain rail. And what I like to do is, I'm going to take a few out because I don't want to do all of them today. I'm a bit more passionate about these than my family members. Hello, guys, everyone joining. Yay, we're getting a nice crew together. But while we're waiting for you guys to think about some questions you might need an answer to, remember I said things like maybe you can't poach an egg, Maybe you can't get your crackling perfect every time on your pork belly. Maybe you have no idea what you're going to cook for dinner tonight. You can take me to your fridge. I will show you what you can make out of there. But I'm just showing you with these little K-lets to go with my salmon tonight is I'm going to take a little bit of this beautiful extra virgin olive oil. That's a new little toy I found. And I'm just going to give it a light dressing of olive oil straight into the packet. I'm then going to use I couldn't help myself but show you guys something to cook. Ramon in the Netherlands, I will be right with you. Hole in the bottom of the eggs. I will have a look. So this here is just a little bit of seasoning over those K-lets. And of course, it depends on what you're serving it with and what style you're going for. But I also will put some, and I always sniff my spices, especially sesame seeds. They can go stale. Pop some of those over there. Can you see I've just sort of jiggled it all about? And now when I'm ready when dinner's cooked, I need 4 minutes in my air fryer to get these nice and crunchy. And they're actually divine. So if you hate kale, maybe give it another chance. You can, of course, put chili flakes over there as well. That's what I'll be doing. And let's see. Now, let's answer some questions. In the Netherlands, we sometimes poke a hole in the bottom of our eggs before we boil them. And they come out great. Do you know why this works? No. Because if it's a boiled egg and there's a hole in the shell, in my experience, if the shell is cracked, it just comes spewing out. So unless it's in the little bum of the egg, you know, the flat part where that little membrane is, maybe it's in there and it's not actually allowing the egg to escape. But I would love to see that. You'll have to demonstrate to me, Ramon, when you come back from the Netherlands. Hi, guys. So, we got some wonderful people joining us and waving. Thank you for waving, guys. I'm sure you want to see the doggy come back and do its trick again. All right, so what I thought we're going to do, and sorry, Ramon, that I couldn't answer your egg question. I'm very good at poaching eggs, though. So if anyone wants to know how to poach eggs, if you want a quick chefy tricks and hacks on how to poach eggs, I can definitely do that. In fact, guys, I'm actually busy recording. Thank you, Ramon. You can show me your egg poker. No problem. All right. So I'm busy recording actually my sessions for my podcast. I'm very excited. I've had a few guests and it's been going very well. And I'm covering things like the things that I find. And I've been a cooking school teacher, guys, for, well, I hate to admit it, but since 2001. So I have had the same questions come up again and again and again. And some of them are things like I mentioned, egg poaching. A lot of people think they are just terrible in the kitchen. They think they're failures. They think they are hopeless. They think it's their fault. But has anyone here had a problem with poaching of eggs, guys? Who put your hands up if you've had a problem poaching eggs? Because one of the problems with poaching eggs is, yes, we have had a few. Okay, we have a request to come in. Let's see if we can get this. I'm not very good at driving the technology, guys. The cooking part I've got, absolutely. I have no idea how to let you in. Sorry, love. Maybe just type the question. And, oh, hello.
Hi, Chef Mel.
Hi, love. Greetings. What, you had a question, did you?
No, I'm just watching. I'm lying in bed sick with my kitty cat keeping me company.
Oh, love. I'm sorry you're not well. Well, thanks for popping in and saying hello. You'll have to think of a culinary question.
No, I don't have one right now, Mel. Sorry.
That's all right, love. I don't know how you hang up a call on here. So can you hang up and then we'll... Oh, there's another question coming in. Get better soon, love. No problem. So, guys, with poaching eggs, and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there, and if you don't know how to poach an egg, so the trick is get a fresh egg, because if you are poaching eggs, and if you've ever had an egg that you've popped into water and it's strung all over the place. And I'm sure that's happened to a lot of you. Put your hands up, guys, if it's happened to you. There's another question in here. But when you're poaching an egg, the best thing you can do is have a fresh egg that has come straight out of the fridge, because if you think about it, a cold egg is nice and tight. So when you put it into the water, it is going to, thread a little bit. But the best thing you can do is if you have a fresh egg, and we are at a massive disadvantage if you have to shop from the supermarkets, because generally the eggs are going to be 2 or 3 weeks old already, no matter how you've stored them. But if you're poaching an egg, and try this, guys, because poaching eggs are great. And they're cheap and they're inexpensive and they, quick, and you can have them on a Sunday lunch, or you can have them on your Wednesday night salad. But when you crack that egg into water, you can add 10% vinegar, but I hate the taste of vinegar. All right, so I'm never going to do that. I like to salt my water, but then if you are cracking your egg into there, guys, just if it is an older egg, you are going to get that stringing. Just sort of, you can make a little whirlpool and then crack it in, but that's not very good if you have a lot of people that you are catering for. Hello there. It's good to see you guys coming in. But anyway, back to the egg. Try poaching an egg that is nice and fresh and coming out of the fridge. And I can share my poaching video with you, because that makes it nice and easy to understand. But that's one of the things I find that people hate, is poaching eggs. So we're going to discuss things like that. Soggy stir fries, if you are not cooking stir fries, because they are never sexy and gorgeous like the ones in the Asian restaurant when you go. If your stir fries are just one big liquid mess, things like that, let me know and I can show you how to fix those. That is my superpower, guys, is showing you guys how to fix these common mistakes in the kitchen. Things like pork crackling. With who can get their pork crackling perfect every time? I can, but I've got a little secret. Drop me a message, guys. Who has had pork crackling perfect 1 week and then the next week it's just been a massive disaster? You are not alone. Oh, sorry. Let me have a little sip of that. So things like pork belly we can discuss. All right, just remember, guys, leave me a message so that Chantel, lovely. So sometimes if you do get pork crackling perfect one time and the next time it's no good, I've got ways to fix it as well. Just drop me a message and tell me what you want me to discuss, because I've just written a list here of what I think we're going to do on our lives at 5s. And hi, Jessica. And so that we can fix these things, because what I find is when you've had a bad time doing something in the kitchen, you tend to just avoid that, and you just tend to never forgive yourself, and you tend to just say, oh, I can't do that, I'm no good at making such and such. But of course that's not right, because if you just have someone like me who is happy to share secrets, I can fix that for you in 5 seconds. Like I said, that's my superpower. So pork crackling, I'm thinking pantry, how you store your food is very important as well. So, I love to do a pantry. Hi, Jessica. I love to do a pantry refresh. Not as often as I should, but I just did it on the weekend, because you know why? I couldn't find my little chili flakes, and I ended up tidying the whole kitchen, and they ended up having fallen behind in that second drawer there. But it was a good session, and I felt so much more organized, so much so that I wrote an article about it, and I also did a podcast about, the title of the podcast was actually called Sniff Your Nuts, because I'm sure you've seen before when I've done a pantry article, a lot of people are storing their pine nuts, macadamia nuts, peanuts, all sorts of things in the pantry. And if you live in Queensland, you can see I'm in Queensland because it's obviously not cold here. If you're storing them in the pantry, that is when they're going stale really quickly. So I like to store that kind of thing, nuts and spices and flours, like self-raising flour, that kind of thing. I actually have a tray in my freezer here in the kitchen instead of having it in the pantry, and then I have to buy new stuff, especially even rice. Even rice here in Queensland, I cannot store it for more than 3 months without it getting full of weevils. And I'm sick and tired of throwing it away. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining. Exciting. Still no questions, though. That's all right. I can talk for as long as you need, so don't worry about it. Also, what I thought was, so yeah, sniff your spices, sniff your things like pine nuts, and also your extra virgin olive oils. Remember, extra virgin olive oil that is 7 years old is not sexy. This is brand new and fresh. And the way you tell is open it up, give it a good sniff. Hello, Cuzzy. Hello, Bobs. Ah, lovely. So if you do have olive oil and you don't know how old it is, sniff it. It'll tell you everything you need to know. All right. Chantel is asking about steaks. Now, Chantel, the thing about steaks is you got to have a good quality steak. So you've said there you got a good quality steak. I just season with a little bit of salt, not too much salt, but definitely just salt. You can do pepper as well. But the trick is when you put your pan on put your pan on and then back away. Let your pan get really, really, really swear word hot. So don't put a cold steak into a cold pan and expect it to be like a restaurant where it's got a beautiful caramelized crust and it's gorgeous and everything. When you put a steak, guys, I'm just answering Chantel's question here. How do I cook a good steak? First of all, have a good steak. Second of all, have a pan. And I would use a vegetable oil to spray that pan out with. Or you can have a little bit of the fat just cut off the steak. Put that in there and actually use that as the moisturizer. That'll help you. And then get that pan swear word hot, because when you put your seasoned steak into the pan, it literally has to be swear word hot. It has to sizzle. If there's a little bit of a sizzle, you might be in for a bit of a problem, because if it doesn't sear or get that lovely brown crust, especially if you like it rare, it's just not going to eat as well. So my trick is get it swear word hot, put it in the pan. If you've got a compulsive stirrer or a compulsive steak poker in your household, lock them out, smack their hands, do what you need to do. You only want to be turning that steak when it's brown on the first side. And Chantal, I hope that answered your question. So back away from the pan, get it to sizzle. You actually want smoke in your kitchen. So barbecue is sometimes good, but if you're cooking a steak properly and it's nice and swear word hot, the extractor is going to have to be on level 5. Okay. Chantal, you're saying no, that's me? Yes. I'm not going to swear, my cousin. So when I say swear word hot, yes, I mean, you know, let's not make it lukewarm. The same with your stir fries, guys. If you're throwing your 600 grams of ice cold chicken strips or beef strips and you've been marinating for 2 days, that's very romantic. But if you're going to put it into a pan, thank you. If you're going to put it in a pan, 600 grams of ice cold meat, chicken or beef or whatever it is, and then you're going to stir it straight away in a little domestic pan. That's why your stir fries are going soggy, remember? Because when you stir your meat, you give the pan cold meat, and then when the pan is cold, it can't do anything. It can't sear or seal that meat. So it's actually your fault. Remember, cooking is like a relationship. You want to keep the sizzle up and you want to keep them talking to you. Same thing with your pan. If there's no sizzle in the pan and if the pan's gone quiet, you know that someone's going to start crying and it's actually your fault. So swear word hot, people, swear word hot. And that goes for your stir fries, your steaks, and I do beef mince the same. All right, let's see. So let's have a look at these other questions. All right, no questions yet. Riley, my son, wants to know what time dinner is. That's wonderful, my child. It will be ready in half an hour. Cheeky teenagers, eh? Love it. No, I said to him, I actually told him to say that. So he had my permission. Then, next on my list is gnocchi. Who here, it's a pleasure, Chantal, who here has successfully made gnocchi every single time? Because often, you know, if it's after the weekend and you've got mashed potatoes left over, guys, never use your mashed potatoes to make gnocchi. You are basically signing yourself up for half an hour of very stressful designer stress. So gnocchi, remember, you want your potatoes. I boil them, jack it on until they're tender, however long it takes. Jack it on, or of course, if you've got lots of money, put the oven on, preheat it, and then pop your potatoes in there. But it takes such a long time. But with your gnocchi potatoes, guys, remember they have to be dry and chalky. And if you do have a potato that looks quite wet, just expect a bit of trouble, but you can fix it. So with potatoes that are a little bit waterlogged, and I'm never going to throw them away because who's got the money, but you could just add some potato starch instead of plain flour, or a bit of a combination of both, and you will live happily ever after. I also thought that on these Wednesday night lives at 5s, we could discuss dinner parties, because I love throwing a dinner party. And a lot of my friends, when they think about a dinner party, they will actually start crying and drinking excessively from the stress. So the trick is to choose a menu that you can partially do in advance, so that when your friends and family come through the door, you are literally lying on the couch sipping a lovely drink. All the prep has been done. You look gorgeous and you're not stressed. Remember, you can taste the stress in food. So always choose happy menus that make you look good and don't take a lot of time. And then I also wanted to maybe in the next few weeks talk about menu fatigue. I hate my own cooking sometimes, and I'm a chef. So sometimes I'll go, I just am uninspired. I have no idea what to do. And that's when your social media actually comes in handy, because there's always someone doing something else with a chicken breast or a cauliflower or something like that. So have a look around and steal those ideas and make them your own. So, you know, we can always adapt it, make it versatile, that kind of thing. Yes, thank you. So yes, guys, I am very excited and looking forward to our lives at 5s. If you think I should do it a little bit later, drop me a comment and let me know what you think. Now, also, just because it's my first one, also what we're going to talk about is knife skills. Now, I can teach you the most beautiful recipes. I can teach you, I'll get to that in a minute about the crayfish. You can have 700 cookbooks. If you do not know how to handle your knives in the kitchen, I'm sorry, but you're actually going to be really inefficient and you're going to be cranky. That's when you start getting wrinkles, is when you're chopping something and you don't know and you're not confident when you're chopping. So whenever I chop, guys, I will first of all get a cloth. All right. So always get a cloth. I wet it. All right. I put that down onto the bench. And then, and only then, do I grab my chopping board. Because when you put your chopping board onto a wet cloth, it will literally stick there. Now, that is going to make sure, you can't really see, but if you put your chopping board with a wet cloth under it, you are literally going to take years of stress off your life, because the chopping board is going to be nice and safe. It's not going to move. And then what you need is, and now I'm a bit of a show off with the knives. I've got like beautiful sharp knives. I get them professionally sharpened. Secure chopping board, sharp knife, happy chef. All right. And I actually am going to drop in a QR code after this, and I'm going to let you do my knife skills course. So I've got a knife skills course. I take you through everything: how to chop parsley, how to chop an onion, best way to crush garlic, and how to hold a knife, how to sharpen your knife, best way to chop. You know, like the chefs, when they chop, they keep their fingers out of the way and they don't look. I'll show you how to do that as well. All right, because I want you to be also efficient with your knife skills, and then you are going to live happily ever after. I love having knife skills. It makes me efficient. And yeah, it's going to be something that you'll use for the rest of your life. Now, we've had the best way to prepare or serve crayfish. Now, I love crayfish, okay? And especially if you've caught them yourself, that's great. Hello, Lindy. But crayfish are fantastic, and they don't actually need you to do a lot of work. What I like to do is I like to cut the crayfish maybe down the middle lengthways, manicure it, so get rid of that. And then what I would do is my biggest frying pan, depending on how many you have. I'm going to get that pan swear word hot. I'm going to spray it with a canola, because remember, extra virgin olive oil is great, but it does not like the heat. So I always say extra virgin olive oil is beautiful for salads, and I would even like eat this, you know, straight out of there. It's really good stuff. Doesn't like to get hot and sweaty. All right, so if you want a oil that can take the heat, you're going to go to your vegetable oils, that kind of thing. So when you do get your pan swear word hot, put that cut side of your crayfish down. You're going to cook it exactly like you were going to do a steak. Get that first layer really, really sexy and brown. Then when it's brown, you will tell. You don't even have to look at it. It will tell you by smelling it when it's brown, guys. You just have to trust your instincts there. All right, so put the crayfish down, get the pan swear word hot, brown it off, and then you're going to turn it over, because you're going to have to get that heat to go all the way through. But once your first side is done, you literally have done all the hard work, and you can basically back off a little bit, because when you put it onto the other side, I want you to lower the temperature. The best sauce, and I like to do everything in one pan, because I'm the one, and my teenagers do help me with the dishes, but I'm lazy. I don't like 400 pots. I like one pot. So into that same frying pan, we are going to use some sexy butter. So when you put butter in the pan, it's going to sizzle. I don't want the pan to be too hot, but get it to bubble, because when butter melts and then it bubbles, the minute that white foam comes to the top and the white foam goes brown, it's called nutty butter or burnt butter. That is when your butter is going to be sexy and delicious. Melted butter is not that sexy. I'll probably still pour it over something, but when you melt butter and then brown it, that's what they're putting over pasta and all those delicious, sexy, buttery sauces, and that would go well on your crayfish. But then, while that butter is bubbling, I would take lemon zest, maybe. All right, lemon zest, zest it, because lemon would go really well with your crayfish. Or you can even just, this is the one I use for my drink. So what you could do is, while that is cooking and while you had the crayfish in the pan, you could put that lemon face down and brown it as well. Because remember, everyone's seen a lemon wedge. Lemon wedges are not sexy. We've seen lemon wedges for the last 40 years. It's like stuck in the 60s. It's like leg warmers, okay? They're not sexy anymore. But a lemon cut in half, burnt on the face. So if you're good at burning stuff, sexy fruit is going to be your new thing. Brown that, get it nice and burnt, and then when you have your sexy butter, and you can of course put garlic and lemon in your butter, you would then have this perfectly caramelized lemon to squeeze over your crayfish, and then tell me what time to be over. I will come and join you. That sounds delicious. So guys, I said we'd do this for half an hour. We have run out of time. Glenn, hello. Are wood or plastic chopping boards better? Let me answer this quick question. So because I come from a commercial kitchen, Glenn, I prefer and think that the plastic ones are more hygienic. So I can literally bleach that if I've had turmeric on there or whatever. But of course, a wooden chopping board is beautiful and sexy. So it really just depends on what you like, as long as you are cleaning it properly and storing it properly. So wash them, dry them, and then as you can see, my drying, they basically stand up here, so they have room to air. So don't ever put your chopping boards together. They're going to start growing all sorts of things. So Glenn, I hope that answered your question. Hope you're well. I haven't seen you in ages. Thanks for popping in today. But yes, guys, please try the next time you chop, cloth under the board, chopping board on top, and get your knives sharpened. Now, of course, I'm going to drop that QR code in here because I can't talk and drop in QR codes. Thank you. My kitchen is lovely. I can give you a little tour quickly if you want. But I'm going to drop the QR code in here. Please click on it, and then it'll take you to a free knife skills course. All you need to do is pop your email in, and then it'll create a login for you. And then I think there's about 12 or 14 videos. So I've done them really short and sweet so that you can choose the one that you want. And of course, let me know what you think, guys. But yes, happy cooking. And I will be back this time next week. My teenager's just arrived. He's the one that said, Mom, what are we having for dinner? There we go. I just sent him shopping. So, guys, have a great evening. It was lovely having you join me. Thank you so much. And I will see you again next week. But remember, we're going to talk during the week. So this is just the live. See you next time. Thanks so much. How was it, babe?
Good. I was watching it the whole time.
Was it?
Yeah.